starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, new executive orders from the Texas governor going into effect to combat the coronavirus. More on what they mean for travelers.
President Trump recommending people stay home until April 30th. I'm Inez Deliquatera in Washington, and I'll have all the details coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam, Mike Osterhage is back in-house, and he has your forecast.
And good morning to you. It is Monday. It is March 30th, and our whole family is finally back together.
Yay, Mike, we're so glad to have you back. And
Very
you're
much.
Healthy and everything's fine, and you never had it. Just make sure we tell people that.
It was strictly a precaution.
Right.
And KSAT said, okay, stay away for a while, and we've been kind of holed up and everything like that. So, but yeah, everybody is fine, and everybody working from home, I feel for you.
I know. How was it waking up this morning?
That was very difficult. Not getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning has been kind of nice, but in all seriousness, getting a little bit somewhat back to normal now, and that's what a lot of people are dealing with. So just do your best out there. I know it's
tough.
So.
It is tough for everybody, but it is great to see you, Mike.
Thank you. You guys as well, seriously. We do have a little bit of rain around the area this morning, so if indeed you do have to hit the roads, we've got a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm or two that is trying to pop up around the area. And there's this line. It's almost kind of running off to the northeast, and just a couple little scattered spots, Wilson County back down toward Atascosa County. And even just in the past a little bit, a couple of lightning strikes are detected there in northern Atascosa County. Everything's sliding again up, up to the northeast. So you may run into a little bit of this rain. Then we will have some more showers, even a couple of thunderstorms developing later on this afternoon. And once again, it is very mild, starting off a whole different story than yesterday. Yesterday was down actually below normal, down to 50. We're in the mid to upper 60s as of right now. And the oak pollen. That is, if you are an oak sufferer, it has been sky high for the past couple of days. Yesterday's reading still was about 23,480. Just extremely, extremely high. That can't come to an end soon enough. We're going to make it up to 70 today at noon, 78 for a high temperature. Couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms around here. We do have another weak front, which is going to be moving through. So any increase in the humidity, which we'll see later on today, is going to be going away. So we do have a couple of nice days. And then, which is not necessarily a bad thing, more rain chances to finish up the week. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here is Officer Marcus Trujillo, and a good morning to you, sir.
And good morning to you, Mike, and welcome back. Glad to have you back. And as we take a look at the roadways right now, not too much going on out there. So a little bit of construction here and there, and here in the downtown vicinity we have some rolling construction. They're cleaning out those drainage culverts there on the highway, so just watch out for those emergency lights flashing. Right now 281 410 up there by the airport so far, no issues. I-10, 410 up on the northwest side, it's looking pretty good. And 10 at Woodlawn east and westbound lanes moving along with very few people out there. I-10 at the Y, still looking pretty good. Mark and Leslie.
Thank you, Marcus. Beginning today, San Antonio's mayor and the county judge will be giving updates on the COVID-19 situation in Bexar County every evening around 6 p.m. Right now, let's take a look at the latest numbers concerning coronavirus in Bexar County.
Mayor Ron Nierenberg says there are 17 new cases since the city's last report. That brings the total to 157 positive cases of COVID-19. Well, that number does include more transmissions through the community as well. About 1/3. No new deaths were reported all weekend, but at least 35 of the patients do remain in the hospital this morning.
Zip codes now being included by San Antonio Metro Health in its reports. That's in addition to the latest counts and breakdowns. The new zip code statistics reveal the first geographic glimpse of how the new coronavirus. I think we accidentally jumped to this next camera. If you want.
Oh, well, hello, everybody.
If you want to jump on this one.
All right. Geographic glimpse, as you were saying, into the coronavirus, how it spread around the Alamo City, one of the most affluent zip codes, 78209, which largely comprises Alamo Heights and Terrell Hills, is the only zip code with more than 8 cases as of this morning. 10 other zip codes have 5 to 8 cases, and 42 others have 1 to 4. You can find a link to all of this information on our website, KSAT.com. Moving on to other news, new executive orders by Governor Greg Abbott are going into effect. That's also to combat the spread. The first order is a new 2-week quarantine of out-of-state travelers enforced by the Department of Public Safety troopers. In addition to New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, people coming into Texas from Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, and the states of California, Louisiana, and Washington are all required to quarantine. Governor Abbott says more than 25,000 people have been tested statewide, more than 2,500 confirmed positive cases. So far, 34 people have died in the state and 176 have been hospitalized.
1 month after the first death was announced here in the U.S., the country now has 135,000 cases with more than 2,400 deaths.
The virus surging across the country as states and hospitals become overrun with patients and continue to struggle with shortages.
ABC's Ines De La Cuetara has the latest from Washington.
After suggesting he could ease restrictions by Easter, President Trump announcing he is extending social distancing guidelines until April 30th.
Nothing would be worse than declaring victory before the victory is won.
This as the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, warns the U.S. could get as many as 200,000 deaths and up to 1 million confirmed cases of COVID-19.
What we're trying to do is not let that happen.
New York City is leading the nation in the number of confirmed cases, now preparing to welcome U.S. Navy hospital ship Comfort today to make more room for patients. The Javits Convention Center is also getting set to open after being converted into a temporary field hospital. Convention centers in Washington state and Louisiana also being repurposed. And in California, the number of cases surging past 5,000. This as many hospitals around the country still face mask and ventilator shortages.
I have nurses that call me on a daily basis to tell me that they're scared, to tell me they don't know what to do. We didn't sign up for this.
But President Trump seeming to blame the hospitals.
10 to 20,000 masks to 300,000, even though this is different. Something's going on. Where are the masks going?
Meanwhile, financial relief for Americans is on the way.
Within 3 weeks, we'll have direct deposit into people's accounts.
Those checks could be as much as $1,200 per person plus $500 per child. The president predicts the country will be on its way to recovery by June. Ines De La Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
The pandemic is further disrupting the 2020 census, and now the Census Bureau says that extending the suspension of field work until April 15th. That's 2 weeks longer than originally planned. The delay affects door-to-door census deliveries to about 10 million homes, mostly in rural areas where residents don't get mail delivery. The process, originally scheduled to end July 31st, is now set to end August 14th. That's so census officials can meet a legal deadline requiring results by the end of the year.
New this morning, San Antonio police are looking for 3 suspects. They say shot a woman with an AR-15. It happened just after 11 last night in the 1300 block of Saltillo Street. That's west of downtown. Police say the woman was shot in the arm. She was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Police say 3 suspects possibly got away in a pickup truck. No other injuries were reported.
438, 68 degrees.
Still ahead, a new docuseries called Tiger King. It is a huge hit on Netflix. If you have not seen it, you gotta see it. More on its surge in popularity.
I think just about all of us sampled it over the weekend or finished it. And next, North Korea ramping up its rocket launch tests once again following stalled denuclearization talks that ended at the end of last year.
Live cam giving us a look outside. Mike said there are a few showers on radar. He has your forecast coming up.
In morning headlines, North Korea has launched its 6th projectile in less than a month. The country says it successfully test-fired super large multiple rocket launchers Sunday morning off the coast of Japan. North Korea has already carried out a series of weapons tests this year, but it's especially ramped things up in the last month. Kim Jong-un warned the U.S. it has until the end of 2019 to restart stalled denuclearization talks. When that deadline passed without any change, Kim warned the country would bolster its nuclear deterrent and pledged to show off a new strategic weapon in the future.
A plane crash in the Philippines that killed all 8 people on board was taking a coronavirus patient to Japan for treatment. The crash happened during a takeoff from Manila's International Airport Sunday. The plane was also reportedly carrying medical supplies. At least 1 American and 1 Canadian were on the plane.
It is exactly 4:42, 68 degrees.
Still ahead, more on a San Antonio family dealing with having their baby in the neonatal intensive care unit during this pandemic.
And a new Netflix docuseries has become a surprising next big thing on the popular streaming service. More from the director of Tiger King about why it has become so popular.
Welcome Welcome back, everybody. It is exactly 4:45. The Netflix docuseries Tiger King, it's so bizarre, is a streaming service next surprise hit. ABC's Kenneth Moten has details in your GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, going inside the world of the Tiger King.
The young people are nuts, man. And I might be one of them people. I don't know. But they're all half out there, man. They're crazy.
It's the Netflix series everyone is talking about.
There's not every day that a zookeeper went to prison for murder for hire.
Tiger King, the salacious, scandalous, and very bingeable true crime docuseries about the saga of Joe Exotic.
My name's Joe Exotic, and this is Sarge.
Tiger King has a uniquely captive audience. Millions with nowhere to go as they self-isolate to fight the coronavirus.
Never did we imagine that this would sort of have the popularity that it has.
Coming up at 7 a.m., everything you need to know about the phenomenon. But don't worry, no spoilers here. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
I'm only like 4 episodes in so far.
Just put on your seatbelt.
I know.
Buckle up and hold on tight, because just when you think, okay, this is really, and then something happens and goes in a whole different direction.
I know. And they say get your popcorn ready. We actually made 2 bowls last night. So.
Good job.
Yeah, so got my fiber.
Yeah, you got a little piece right there. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah. 4:46 right now. For families with loved ones in the hospital battling different health issues, the pandemic is bringing added fear.
It is. As Tiffany Huertas reports, a San Antonio family shares how they're dealing with having their baby in the neonatal intensive care unit, or NICU, during this crisis.
To get in the hospital at all now, you have to have your temperature taken and they ask you questions.
Because of the coronavirus pandemic, this is what Jason and Marianne Norris go through to visit their son Ryan, who is at the NICU. Marianne says only one of them can see Ryan at a time. And even before they see him, they have to fill out a form each day to say they are not sick. They also sanitize their phones and wash their hands before entering the room.
They didn't know what was going to happen. You know, he was on full oxygen and then he started getting a little bit better. And there's been ups and downs. So,
Ryan is 14 weeks old. He has a condition where the tube that carries food from the mouth to the stomach is not developed.
Ryan is at the NICU at North Central Baptist Hospital in Stone Oak. The Norris family believes he's safer in here during the coronavirus pandemic.
And I feel like that's the best place for him right now, honestly, because he's not out and susceptible to, you know, just germs that we don't know what's where.
The family says they couldn't do this alone. They thank the staff at the hospital who are on the front lines against COVID-19.
We just want to say thank you, and we know that you're putting your lives on the line when you would, I'm sure, rather be home and with your families and keeping safe, but because you do that for us, you make our lives so much better.
The family says Ryan is a fighter and they can't wait to bring him home. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
So many stories. I've got a family member, his fiance is fighting leukemia. She's had to start a new round of chemo and is going through a bone marrow transplant this week, and he cannot be physically with her because of everything that's going on right now.
It's so difficult. And then you also feel for her, because that means her immune system is going to be completely destroyed for a while.
For a while.
She can't be around anybody.
All we can do is hope.
My daughter, Nicole, spent 2 weeks in NICU, and I can't even imagine what those parents were going through, because we spent every waking moment we could, and it just breaks my heart.
Yep. 4:48 right now. We do have to move on.
It's time to check the roadways, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, okay. What's happening, Marcus?
Nothing. As we take a look.
That's a good thing.
As we take a look at the roadways, still looks pretty good out there. Let's move back over to TransGuide once again. No accidents at this point. Looking at I-10 in Culebra, you can see east and westbound lanes seem to be moving along fairly well. There's more than enough room out there. No problems 10 at Woodlawn. Look at I-10 in Callahan. Looking back over towards that I-10 410 interchange, no delays there at all. Then out there, I-10 1604, traffic still moving along fairly well. As we look over towards the airport area, should there be any type of moisture whatsoever, there it is, that comes into play a little bit later on. Just keep in mind that areas like this could get a little slick, those elevated ramps and roadways, but right now, no issues.
Thank you, Marcus.
So
who's this guy?
You said about 4 episodes into Tiger King?
Yeah, and that was in between doing some bass fishing myself this weekend.
Just wait. So, and Ozark too.
I haven't watched that yet. That's going to be my next one.
So you might want to even go back and kind of check out a little
the last few.
Yeah, just to see what's going on. So
I caught about a 22-inch personal best bass this weekend.
Good job.
Those fish are just about that big.
Send your picture.
Okay.
That's why I put this one up there, to get you to brag a little bit.
I'm inspired.
Yes, because he had a really good fish story from this weekend. So thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture, and keep those pictures coming in, okay? Nothing is going on out there at the airport as of right now as far as any precipitation that is showing up, but we do obviously have some on radar as of right now, and it's basically just some couple of spots of some light to moderate showers, and if you blink, you miss it. There were 1 or 2 lightning strikes that were detected there in northern Atascosa County. This is now moving through Elmendorf on the southeast side of Bexar County, and if it's not raining yet in Livonia, just get ready, and all this will continue to work its way up to the northeast. Then we're going to have some more showers around here throughout the rest of the afternoon and even going into tonight, although I think they'll taper a little bit once we get into the evening hours. Temperatures are almost 20 degrees warmer than yesterday morning. Yesterday was a nice, cool, crisp morning. Got down to 50 degrees, actually a little bit on the below normal side. And right now we're about anywhere from 10 to 15 above normal, with the humidity is still okay. It has started to come back into the picture just a little bit more, but that's not bad as far as these dew points. But it is going to be more humid later on this afternoon prior to, and we're not going to be able to say this too many more times as we head on into April and late April and May, but there's another front moving through later on tonight. Rapid update computer model. We got a couple of scattered showers around the area throughout the rest of the morning and this afternoon. Even a couple of thunderstorms are going to be possible once again, although I think they'll be kind of on the few and far between side. Then things will start to taper off a little bit by later on tonight. And then overnight, this line right here, and just about the time we go on the air tomorrow morning, maybe a little bit before that, is when that front's going to be moving on through here. And so that'll kind of give one last little bit of energy to touch off a few more showers and thunderstorms early tomorrow morning. And then we're going to be clearing out nicely. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, a little bit lower humidity. Wednesday's going to be nice as well, although we'll start to see the clouds kind of move on in here. And as far as the humidity goes, dew points will continue to go up. So it will become humid this afternoon. That's going to help to feed some of those showers and thunderstorms. That'll be the situation in through tonight. But then here comes the drier air. And again, it's going to be throughout the morning hours tomorrow as that front works its way on through here and we get the drier air to come on in. So a nice day setting up tomorrow. But on the positive side, at least we're seeing rain chances not only today, although it's not going to be any sort of a drought breaker, but then especially later on in the week. 70 at noon today, a couple of showers around the area, and then a high temperature in the upper 70s with a shower, a few thunderstorms mixed in as well. And then tomorrow, after that front moves on through here, it's going to be really pleasant. I mean, we'll be back down into the about mid 50s by Wednesday morning, pardon me. Lots of sunshine around here. Then we're going to be going back to the rainy conditions by Thursday, Friday. There's still a few showers scattered about over the weekend. We will be back. Or am I tossing back?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Toss back.
And we're back.
Yes.
Okay, this is the easy part. 4:53, 68 degrees.
Not always. After spending weeks overseas since contracting the coronavirus, Tom Hanks and his wife are now back in the United States. More on what they plan to do.
Here's some good news about the coronavirus for a change. Tom Hanks and wife Rita Wilson are back home in the U.S. They spent 2 weeks in quarantine in Australia after revealing March 11th they'd both tested positive for COVID-19. The pair reportedly took a private jet back to Los Angeles to limit their contact with others. Hanks tweeted now that they're home, they're still sheltering in place and social distancing. He also thanked everyone in Australia who took care of them and all the fans who reached out to wish them well. Google is skipping their April Fool gag Wednesday. Business Insider quotes an internal Google email saying they're taking a break from their annual tradition, quote, out of respect for all those fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Ryan Reynolds was 7 when that sword and sorcery arcade game debuted in 1983. Now word is he's producing and will star in a live-action film adaptation for Netflix. And Eric Clapton is 75 Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
About 3 minutes till 68 degrees.
I'm really glad to see that Tom Hanks is back.
Me too.
And he's okay. We'll still ahead in our next half hours. More and more cases of coronavirus pop up in hospitals across the nation. Many healthcare workers on the front lines say they do not have the equipment they need to keep up with demand.
Let's more on what's trending on Google now that Americans are staying home. That includes an uptick in searches for how to make banana bread.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this hour, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office confirming its first employee to be infected by COVID-19. How the organization is responding.
Healthcare workers battling the coronavirus on the front lines are facing major shortages.
More on that coming up. And outside with live cam, a shower or two out there. We've got quite a cloud deck. We'll check in with Mike Osterhage, who is back in the house after a self-quarantine. He is safe, and it's good to have him home. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. It is March 30th.
So happy to have you with us this morning. I know, Mike, you're happy to be out and about and back at work. I feel sorry for Bonnie, your wife, because she finally can go out and the gyms are closed. And I know how much she loves to work out.
Exactly. And you know what a lot of folks are doing, I don't know if you're aware of this, and she's doing it as well, but there's a lot of online exercise sessions.
I'm doing exercise. I'm doing boxing online. There's YouTube and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
She actually was just teaching a class as well yesterday. So yeah, you can do all that and get together, you know, with folks and try and be inspired. You know, and the one good piece of advice, and I think I mentioned this to you on the 9 o'clock show at one time, was she had said, if you're going to be working out at home to kind of get into that feel, because it's different than being at the gym, make sure you put your workout clothes on.
Absolutely.
If you have to work from home, dress like you normally would. So.
Well, I wore pajama pants, but I dressed on the top part.
Okay, kind of halfway there, but it sort of gets you in the mood just a little bit. I did that too one day. So anyway, right now it is very mild this morning. It's a whole lot different than yesterday. We were down to right around 50 yesterday. We're in the mid 60s right now, thanks to that cloud cover out there. And the humidity is still okay. Dew point's at 51, but it has been creeping up over the past couple of hours. Visibility is good out there at the airport as of right now. And we do have a couple of showers that are showing up on radar right now, and even a stray thunderstorm or two that has kind of been thrown on in, and everything is working its way off to the northeast, and almost it was working right along I-35 there for a minute, and now it's going through Pleasanton and on the southeast side of Bexar County, heading over toward Nixon, Gonzales. And then also earlier this morning, about a half an hour, 45 minutes ago, there were actually a couple of lightning strikes that were detected in northern Atascosa County. There's nothing showing up as of right now, but don't be surprised if there is one or two lightning strikes out there this morning. And then this afternoon, we'll have a chance for even a couple of thunderstorms thrown in. 67 in town, 63 Bernie, and 62 up the road in Kerrville. We are again about 10, 15 degrees above normal. This can't come to an end soon enough. The oak pollen has just been sky high all weekend long. At least it is down a little bit compared to, what was it, like 29,000 or something like that late last week, early in the weekend. But yeah, that is still sticking around. And a couple of showers, very mild this morning. A few showers, a few thunderstorms this afternoon, upper 70s. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, looks really nice. We got actually a weak front moving through tonight, and that's going to get rid of some of this humidity that will be building back in later on today. Then we do have some more rain chances to finish up the week, and temperatures aren't going to be too extreme going in toward the weekend. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here is Officer Marcus Trujillo.
And thank you, Mike. And we do have a couple of major accidents, both on I-10. So first, we're going to go to this one here. We're looking at a major accident westbound I-10 Advance Jackson. So that's headed from the downtown area back over towards that I-10 410 interchange. So watch out. The left lanes are being affected by this accident. And then we have another major accident. This one's over on the east side, I-10 East at WW White. So even though we don't have too many vehicles out there, still some folks having a difficult time making it from point A to point B. 281 and 410 up there by the airport. Looks like travel on the north side there, 410, eastbound and westbound lanes, still running smoothly at this point. Mark?
Thank you, Marcus. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office now dealing with the first person in the organization to be infected by COVID-19. BCSO says a video visitation employee at the jail is the one who tested positive. They say the case is likely travel related, as that employee returned from a cruise earlier this month. The employee was placed on administrative leave March 19th. They are currently self-monitoring. We're told the employee came into contact with 13 other employees who are now on administrative leave and self-monitoring as well.
Following the passage of the $2 trillion stimulus bill, many Americans are wondering when they can expect their cut of it. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says citizens can expect the coronavirus relief checks to be deposited directly into their account within the next 3 weeks. However, those who filed their taxes electronically in the past may see a direct deposit in their bank even sooner than that.
My number one objective is now delivering to the American workers and American companies the needed money that will put this economy in a position where they can get through the next 8 to 10 weeks.
Mnuchin also said that there will be a web-based application for those who don't get direct deposit.
And with those of you getting checks, be on the lookout for scams. The FBI and other government agencies warning scammers are already trying to steal people's money by asking for personal or financial information through calls, texts, emails, even websites. Officials say scammers will likely try phishing scams by claiming to be from the government, asking for your information. Recipients will receive a notice by mail no later than 15 days after payments were sent out, with information including a phone number to call the IRS if the funds failed to arrive.
President Donald Trump's new accusation about the lack of medical supplies. He's claiming that hospitals are hoarding ventilators, and he's asking reporters to investigate.
ABC's Kenneth Moten has details.
With medical equipment becoming scarce at many hospitals, President Trump is now accusing hospitals of hoarding ventilators.
Many of the states are stocked up. Some of them don't admit it, but they have. We have sent just so many things to them, and including ventilators. You know, there's a question as to hoarding of ventilators.
The president made the claim without providing evidence or naming facilities after meeting with several companies to discuss how they're ramping up production of medical supplies. Later, Trump doubled down, questioning the true reason behind the surge in demand for masks, especially in New York.
It's a New York hospital, it's packed all the time. How do you go from 10 to 20 to 300,000? 10 to 20,000 masks to 300,000, even though this is different. Something's going on.
Overnight, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio's office called the claim ludicrous, adding there is no hoarding or conspiracy going on here. Just a simple fact. Our doctors and nurses need masks. That's the sad, unchanging truth unless the federal government steps up and protects our frontline workers. In Louisiana, another hot zone, the governor says the state's healthcare system could become overwhelmed by early April because of a lack of supplies.
About the 4th or 5th of April, before down in the New Orleans area, we're unable to put people on ventilators who need them.
Doctors and nurses across the country say they're now seeing the critical shortages, which they feared for weeks. For some, the risk has grown to be too much, including this former nurse who says she didn't feel properly protected by her hospital, so she quit.
The current hospital that I was working at kept taking PPE away from us and changing the guidelines.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
HEB is delivering 24 truckloads of food to 13 Texas food banks, including San Antonio's food bank, but more donations are still needed. San Antonio Food Bank is low on its supply, I should say. It's been adjusting to accommodate as many people as possible in the 16 counties it serves. Instead of holding weekly mobile distributions, they're opting for a few mega sites to serve households in immediate need. If you would like to make a donation, contact the food bank through their website, and you can schedule a drop-off. And if you're in need of a donation, you can sign up there as well.
And we want to remind you, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is organizing 5 upcoming blood drives in an effort to prevent a shortage during the crisis. The drives are happening today and run through April 5th at different locations, including the Pearl, Stevens High School, and Cornerstone Central Campus. You can also schedule an appointment to donate at your convenience. We have all this information posted at KSAT.com.
KSAT News is continuing to keep track of the latest developments surrounding the virus across the state and here at home, including updates from local, state, and federal health officials. We have an entire page dedicated to this effort. Look for the coronavirus page on KSAT.com. New this morning, San Antonio police say a 17-year-old boy is dead after a shooting overnight. It happened around 1:30 in the morning. This was the 400 block of Aransas Avenue, that's southeast of the downtown area. Police say a 13-year-old girl was also shot. SAPD says a male suspect walked up to the house, knocked on the door, and shot the two victims. They were brother and sister. We have more on this story in a live report coming up in our next half hour.
It's 10 minutes after 5, 67 degrees.
Still ahead as demand for online shopping continues to grow. Instacart is announcing a new set of health and safety supplies for its full-service shoppers.
And next, 2 more airlines canceling more flights as the coronavirus disrupts their businesses.
And taking you outside with live cam showers in the area today. Mike will have a complete wrap-up of your forecast. Welcome back. It is now 5:13 in your morning consumer headlines. A sauce sold at Whole Foods Market has been recalled. The FDA says Winter Gardens Quality Foods is voluntarily recalling its Whole Foods Market vodka sauce. It has an undeclared allergen, which is milk. The recalled products have the lot code 20057. No illnesses have been reported.
Delta at American Airlines slashing more flights as coronavirus cuts into their businesses. American Airlines says it will reduce capacity in May between 70 to 80% compared to last year. That's a larger cut than it had already announced for April. Delta isn't giving specifics, but says it'll reduce flights to Europe, Asia, Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean. The announcements follow similar moves from Southwest and United Airlines.
And the World Health Organization is encouraging people to play video games amid the pandemic. The U.S. ambassador to the organization tweeted his support, asking people to help continue social distancing efforts by picking up a game and helping save lives. Several U.S. game companies are joining the movement by making certain content available for free or adding new features and extra rewards. That's great. A lot of people are doing puzzles. I think I want to do a puzzle.
Puzzles sound good. I'm sitting on the couch this weekend. Next thing I know, the family had a brand new cornhole set, and we're in the backyard for 2 hours.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so something to do. Get outside because it was a lovely weekend for the most part, after the front especially. Just about 5:15, 67 degrees.
Still ahead, country stars Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks are staying home and tuning up their plans for a concert special from their home studio.
And next, Instacart is trying to increase safety measures for workers worried about the pandemic.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. When considering another treatment, ask about Xeljanz XR, a once-daily pill for adults with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or active psoriatic arthritis for whom methotrexate did not work well enough. It can reduce pain, swelling, and significantly improve physical function. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections like TB. Don't start Xeljanz if you have an infection. Taking a higher than recommended dose of Xeljanz for RA can increase risk of death. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers, including lymphoma, and blood clots have happened, as have tears in the stomach or intestines, serious allergic reactions, and changes in lab results. Tell your doctor if you've been somewhere fungal infections are common, or if you've had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Don't let another morning go by without asking your doctor about Xeljanz XR.
In today's Tech Bites, Instacart tries to prevent a strike today. The home delivery service says it is making hand sanitizer available to its workers, and it will now allow customers to set their own tipping percentages, but the workers say that's not enough, and the strike is still on. Workers in an Amazon warehouse in New York City are also planning to walk out today because of the coronavirus. One of their workers tested positive last week, and they say Amazon isn't doing enough to protect them. And social distancing has given rise to a number of new hobbies, including baking. One of the trending searches on Google during this crisis, how to make banana bread, one of my favorites. And the hashtag quarantine bread is growing on Twitter as cooking and baking tweets have doubled. Get to baking. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
5:19.
I made a honey baked ham at home, and Nicole's like, "Mom, it feels like it's a holiday. Why are you?" And I made homemade mashed potatoes and all kinds. I was like, I just felt like we needed to do something like that. Let's check on the roadways.
For that. As we take a look there at the roadways, there still have these two accidents out there. having a little problem with the data feed. That's why you see those roads all in white. But right now we still have that major accident. First one, we're looking at I-10 Vance-Jackson. Emergency vehicles are out there, so watch out for that. Watch out for those flashing lights. Then over on the east side, I-10 at WW So two separate accidents, both major accidents coming in about 5 minutes apart right now. As we take a look outside through TransGuide, still no changes in the traffic up there by the airport, and I-10 and Callahan looking pretty good. Over there, the I-10-410 interchange, no delays, and 410 in Fredericksburg, you can see there, so far have more than enough room out there, Mike.
Thank you very much, sir. And if you are hitting the roads later on this morning, you might run into a little bit of rain. Talk about that in a moment. Here we go. This was over the weekend, and look at that fisherman's smiling face there.
Hey,
Give
good
us the
job,
details,
Mark.
sir.
21.75 inches. It's taken me years to bust 20 inches, almost a 5-pound largemouth bass, and one of the best bass fishermen I know behind me there enjoying it too, Eric Celerio. So it's a great weekend Saturday.
And where were you?
He's not going to tell. He doesn't want to give his secret away.
That's the Guadalupe River.
Okay,
yeah.
Besides on the water.
Of course, yes.
The Guadalupe River is quite long. What particular spot?
Well, I'll say this. It was in the New Braunfels area, and people who live on this section of the Guadalupe are going to recognize the tip of that sunken ski boat to the left.
Okay.
All right, so there's your hint.
That's all he's going to give. Anyway, nice fish.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture, sir. We do have, looks like fairly dry roads out there at the airport right now. A few little scattered showers, primarily to the east of San Antonio, heading over toward Gonzales. And then also, notice here, just past Cotulla, and got a few thunderstorms that have popped up there as well. That's going to be the exception rather than the rule as far as any lightning. Just one or two of them out there this morning. Lightning strikes, I should say. And then a couple of more are possible later on today. In and around the metropolitan area, just a few showers, like I said, off to the east. Maybe a little bit of a damp spot there on 37 if you're heading down to the south of Bexar County. 67 degrees in town. Yesterday we were at 50, and which was actually a little bit below normal. Nice cool start yesterday morning, and now we're obviously about 17 above that, but also we should be in the mid 50s right now, so we're about 10 to 15 degrees above normal. And the humidity, which is okay, anytime these numbers are below 60, it's not bad, but these numbers are starting to go up a little bit, and they will continue to go up throughout the day. Here's the rapid update computer model. A couple of scattered showers around the area throughout the morning, just one or two of them, and that's going to be the situation this afternoon. And there may actually be a few thunderstorms thrown in as well later on this afternoon. And then late tonight, we're going to start to see a front move on through here, which we don't usually, I mean, we're not going to be saying that too many more times. We don't get these fronts as we go in towards summer, but humidity continues to go up as we go into the afternoon, and dew points are going to get fairly high. Then here comes this drier air and that front that moves through tomorrow morning. So that's going to set us up for some really pleasant weather as we go into tomorrow as well as Wednesday. Then down the road, and it's not bad to say, more rain chances. 70 today at noon with a couple of shower, thunderstorm or two later on this afternoon. 78 for a high temperature. And then later on the rest of the week, tomorrow and Wednesday look great. We'll have a few more clouds around on Wednesday, but nice. Humidity is going to be okay tomorrow as well as Wednesday. Clouds will increase late Wednesday, and there's a chance for rain overnight into Thursday. Chance of showers and a couple of thunderstorms Thursday, Friday, and even a few scattered showers around here over the weekend. Nothing too extreme as far as temperatures are concerned. We'll be right back.
Yes, we will.
We will. Right now it's 5:23, 67 degrees.
Up next, a big shock in the country music world. More of the passing of Grammy-winning country singer Joe Diffie, who died from complications of the coronavirus.
I got asked to be on the show.
Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks are staying home and tuning up. The married musicians are planning Garth and Trisha Live, a concert special from their home studio Wednesday night on CBS. The artists and the network say they'll also donate $1 million to COVID-19 related charities.
I got an 8-foot bed that never has to be made. You know, if it weren't for trucks, we wouldn't have tailgates. I met all my wives. The traffic jams are just something women like about a pickup man.
Grammy-winning country singer Joe Diffie has died from complications of the coronavirus, according to his publicist. The Oklahoma native, known for lighthearted tunes such as Pickup Man, was a member of the Grand Ole Opry for 25 years. Joe Diffie was 61.
This is just absolutely unbelievable for me on so many levels.
Even with social distancing, deals are being made. According to Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, Ryan Reynolds is in talks to produce and star in a live-action take on the classic 80s arcade game Dragon's Lair. Reynolds is on a video game streak. He starred in last year's Pokemon Detective Pikachu and plays a video game character in Free Guy, which for now is due in theaters July 3rd. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
5:27 on your Monday morning.
Still ahead in our next half hour, as the coronavirus pandemic continues to pose a significant threat, health officials are saying to get prepared for at least another month of avoiding get-togethers.
And another crisis on a cruise ship. More than 2,000 passengers headed towards Florida after 4 died and more are getting sick.
Plus, President Donald Trump is responding after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex suggests they might relocate to the United States.
Rise and shine. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. It is March 30th, and guess who's back in the studio?
Yay! Mike's back with us. We're so glad to have you back.
As we make our grand entrance walking in here, so I'm not used to doing
How does it feel?
Shots and everything like that. The alarm going off at 2 was a little but it's nice to have a little bit of something kind of normal. So folks working at home, and helping out with the kids and everything like that, it is tough. I mean, it kind of gets to you after a while. So hang in there as best as possible.
Well, we're glad you're back.
We are glad you're back. And also good to see you here as well. Marcus, good to have our whole morning family back together.
It does feel good to be back together, even though we're together, but we're not together.
We're social distancing as we're supposed to. That's right.
That's as far as
I don't know how
gets.
Mike's going to deal with this, though. He's the biggest hugger I've ever met in my life.
He's going through withdrawals.
He is an unhappy hugger right now.
No, you stay away from me. I love you, but I love you from a distance.
Well, we do have 2 accidents that we're still clearing up, those 2 major accidents, and they're both on I-10, one on the east side, one on the west side. So hopefully we get those cleared up pretty quickly.
In and around town, roads are fairly dry, but we do have a couple of showers out there. And as you can see, we do have, temperatures are in the mid 60s as of right now. We've got, which are about to, say 15 degrees above normal, 10 to 15 degrees above normal. And as you can see, we've got, not too bad out there by the airport right now. And here's some of the showers. We've had a lot of these that have moved off now off to the east and northeast of town, and a couple of thunderstorm cells that are down there to the south. And then even a few more showers are popping up out there to the west of us. So we'll continue to see some of these light showers around this morning, as well as even a couple of thunderstorms, and that's going to be the situation again tomorrow. Like I said, again later on this afternoon. Tomorrow's a whole different situation. We don't really have much in and around town as of right now as far as any rain. And again, these temperatures are very, very mild, and it's going to be on the, not too bad today, but the humidity is going to be going up later on. And Oak can't get rid of that soon enough. It is just miserable out there. 78 for a high temperature, a couple of showers, a couple of storms. We do have a weak cool front moving through later on tonight, so that's going to get rid of the humidity, which is going to be building back in later on today, and then more rain chances down the road. Time saver traffic. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo. So you said 2 big accidents, right?
2 big accidents, but speaking of that, Oak, Mike, this weekend cleaned out the driveway, the front yard. Woke up the next morning, looked like I hadn't touched it.
Yeah, exactly.
So just adding to the other issues we're having to deal with right now. As you take a look at the roadways, still have those 2 accidents. One, Vance Jackson, I-10. That major still in the clearing stages, as is the one on the east side, I-10 at W.W. White. So watch out for emergency vehicles in those areas. Right now, I-10 inbound, outbound lanes there at Frio. You can see the upper and lower levels looking pretty good. No problems as folks are entering or leaving the downtown vicinity. Leslie?
Thank you, Marcus. San Antonio police say it was no random crime, a double shooting overnight on the east side. The victims are a 17-year-old boy and his 13-year-old sister. Katrina Weber is live in the 400 block of Aransas with that story. And we understand the shooting was deadly for one of those teens. Katrina?
That's right. Police told us the 17-year-old boy died here at the scene. The medical examiner's office was here and just left within the last half hour with him. Police also were here. They wrapped up their investigation within the last 10 minutes or so. Now, they had been here since about 1:30 this morning when they got the call about this double shooting. They say someone knocked on the door of the family's home, then started shooting. Both the 17-year-old boy and his 13-year-old sister were hit by the gunfire. Again, he died here at the scene. Police say the girl suffered 2 gunshot wounds and is stable at a hospital. 3 other people, 2 adults and another sibling, were home at the time, but police tell us they were not hurt. Now, the police chief was out here. He says he is sure that this was a targeted shooting, and he says that they do have a few motives in mind, but they are still investigating this case. Reporting live on the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Well, prepare for at least another month of avoiding get-togethers. Officials continue to warn the novel coronavirus pandemic still poses a significant threat.
As CNN's John Lawrence reports, people are still being warned to avoid leaving home when possible.
President Trump's dream to have churches filled on Easter Sunday won't come true.
We will be extending our guidelines to April 30th to slow the spread.
Confirmed cases of COVID-19 keep climbing, and health officials say people need to maintain a safe distance from one another.
We feel that the mitigation that we're doing right now is having an effect to extend this mitigation process until the end of April, I think was a wise and prudent decision.
The coronavirus has already killed more than 2,400 people in the U.S. President Trump says modeling shows the country's death rate may peak in about 2 weeks.
If we can hold that down, as we're saying, to 100,000, it's a horrible number. Maybe even less, but to 100,000. So we have between 100 and 200,000. We all together have done a very good job.
The U.S. has the most confirmed cases worldwide, with more than 139,000 as of Sunday night. Hospitals in some parts of the country expect to run out of beds within 2 weeks as more patients arrive.
We really have to have a new mentality, a new culture of hospitals working with one another. This is going to be all hands on deck. This is everybody helping everyone else.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And your other morning headlines: a fan now owns memorabilia from Kobe Bryant's final NBA game after paying more than $30,000. Items include a towel that Bryant draped over his shoulder when he gave his farewell speech. They also include tickets to his final game, April 13, 2016. Lakers collector David Kohler got them at auction Sunday for about $33,000.
President Donald Trump says the U.S. will not pay for security if Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle move to the U.S. A spokesperson for the couple says they don't need help. But the president's tweet appears to be the first sign that the Duke and Duchess might relocate to the United States. They had said they plan to move to Canada after leaving the United Kingdom. Either way, their spokesperson says they have privately funded security.
Right now it's 5:37. We're at 67 degrees.
As people get more anxious about staying home, we get reaction from people about how they're doing in parts of the nation as parts of the nation are shut down.
Next, another cruise ship debacle as more deaths are reported aboard a ship headed towards the state of Florida.
And live cam once again giving us a look outside. Be careful as you're heading out today. We've already had a couple of accidents this morning, even though there's lighter traffic.
5:40, another cruise ship nightmare. At least 4 people have now died on a cruise ship heading towards Florida.
As ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi reports, many more passengers are getting sick.
This morning, nearly 2,000 cruise line passengers are trapped in limbo.
And unfortunately, there's been a delay in commencing our transfer of guests.
The Holland America Zaandam stranded at sea for more than 2 weeks as coronavirus spreads through the ship.
So we're stuck on the ship. We can't go anywhere because we're not healthy guests or something.
More than 170 people on board are already sick with flu-like symptoms, and at least 4 have died as the captain fights to get proper tests delivered to the marooned vessel.
It was like a covert operation that the captain only told us about the next morning because he didn't want to jeopardize that operation to get test kits on the ship.
The ship embarking on a South American voyage back on March 7th, only 6 days before the U.S. asked all major cruise lines to suspend their trips. Since then, every port along the ship's path has shut down, refusing to let the Zaandam dock. The ship forced to reroute, but was blocked at the Panama Canal because of sanitation concerns. Now, after days of back and forth, the ship is finally making its way through the canal en route to Fort Lauderdale, where passengers will at long last be able to set foot on land. Mona Kosarabdi, ABC News, New York.
Just about 5:42, 67 degrees.
Coming up next, how citizens are feeling amid this crisis, which has the nation on lockdown.
The world seems to be coming to a full stop, with businesses closing and people no longer going to school or work. But life must go on, each day coming and going as the number of coronavirus cases continues to rise.
It's just so unreal sometimes. CNN photojournalist Andrew Chrisman took a moment to ask people how they're feeling amid these unprecedented times.
COVID-19, how are you feeling? All things considered, I'm feeling pretty good.
Feeling pretty anxious.
I feel great. No illness, no sickness.
Hasn't been that tough, not really.
First, I wasn't too worried, and then I got laid off.
I'm feeling worried about a lot of my fellow people.
Basically, they just couldn't afford me anymore. It's okay, life is still working out.
How do you feel?
Good. I'm still feeling like a sad extrovert. I need to see more people.
It just seems a bit surreal. I keep thinking it's going to end soon, but it's not.
Feeling a lot of stress and confusion. It is not clear where this is going on a long-term trajectory. On the one hand, it feels really normal, but you also know it's abnormal, and there are small little signs.
I've been working from home since March 13th.
You feel like you've been cooped up in the house for too long?
No.
Do you miss school?
No. Working from home, watching Netflix.
Trying to stay active as best I can.
Just hanging out in the house and playing the banjo and
looking at the weather change through our window.
I feel like the hardest part is not be able to see our son, who just lives on the other side of town.
It's not normal as usual, but we're surviving.
It's a challenge. We get the 3 kids trying to care for them, do distance learning, and work full time.
I think the most frustrating part has been people not taking it seriously.
Stay positive, hang in there, use a lot of this stuff.
Breathe in, breathe out, and most of all, pray.
Amen. Wall Street futures have been pointing to a lower open this morning after the Dow posted its biggest weekly gain in nearly 100 years. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note also falling, and oil prices are as well. Brent crude is now down more than 4%. The declines come after President Donald Trump said federal social distancing guidelines would extend through the end of April.
We've been hearing about more and more things like this, but this one has a Hollywood twist. A restaurant in Georgia is transformed into a pop-up grocery store. Nick and Norman's is owned by Walking Dead actor Norman Reedus and the show's executive producer Greg Nicotero. Instead of closing due to the pandemic, the two decided to switch things up and start selling grocery items along with essentials like hand sanitizer and the ever-popular toilet paper. The duo says it's a way to keep employees working while giving back to the city. Nick and Norman's is also continuing in the restaurant biz, offering curbside takeout as well.
People are getting very creative in how they can keep their businesses running, and I appreciate it, and I'm trying to support as much as I can.
Me too. Order takeout almost all weekend.
Yeah, that's great. Let's check in and find out if traffic is great. I can't believe we've already had so many accidents.
We still have these 2 major accidents in the clearance stages, so as soon as we can get these cleared up and out of the way, we can get things back to the extremely light traffic conditions that we have out there. But we do have this one. We're looking at I-10 Vance Jackson. That's one major accident. The second one being over here, I-10 WW White. Now let's take a look outside through TransGuide. You can see not too bad up there. I-10 at Crossroads, eastbound, westbound lanes moving along fairly well. And we're moving over to 37 in Houston. North and southbound lanes have more than enough room. So despite the light traffic, with a lot of folks staying home, we're still seeing a significant number of major accidents. And we saw this last week as well.
Are people kind of assuming that they have the roads to themselves and they're maybe pushing it a little bit, you think?
It could have to do with something else. I'm not quite sure what, but
it's a lot like that.
You know,
yeah.
there's all kinds of factors that come into play.
Well,
sometimes you have the road to yourself, the mind wanders.
Right. Well, and we get alerts and updates from everything that's going on. So, I mean, it's very easy to be easily distracted, but does not justify distracted driving.
No.
No.
Yes. All right.
Speaking of putting these, well, not weather clickers, but we've rediscovered again Uno.
Oh, that's a fun game.
I thought you're supposed to yell Uno.
And we will sit there and we just start going at it.
Right.
It's a blast, and taking walks around the neighborhood and everything too. So yeah.
Just find ways, to keep yourself occupied and try to have fun.
What's louder at your house, the word Yahtzee or Uno?
No, we don't do Yahtzee. That's too involved.
That's too.
Farkle is a better game than Yahtzee.
God bless
you.
Yes.
Mark,
find the game
Great minds.
Farkle though sometimes. That's a fun one. So, but get outside and enjoy the flowers and smell the pretty flowers out there, and that is absolutely gorgeous. A trumpet lily. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Things are looking pretty good out there by the airport right now. The roads are fairly dry. Haven't even seen any reports and didn't even see any mist coming into work at all this morning. We do have a couple of showers that are showing up around the area, a lot well off to the east and then down to the south. And that's where a small little cluster of thunderstorms has been kind of popping up in the past hour roughly, right in and around Tilden, and that's going to continue to work its way off to the east to northeast. And then further off to the west, we've got a few more showers that have been trying to develop over there by Del Rio, a few of them moving in toward Lakey, and really nothing in and around town. We've had a few going past on the extreme southeast side of Bexar County, and that's it so far this morning, but there are going to be more later on today. Temperatures are in the mid 60s, mid to upper 60s. We're about 15 or so degrees above where we were yesterday and about 10 to 15 above normal. And then the humidity is starting to go up. It's still numbers below 60 for dew point temperatures, so it's still fairly comfortable out there, but the humidity is going to continue to go up throughout the day. The computer model does have a couple of showers still here and there throughout the rest of the morning and going into this afternoon. Even a few thunderstorms are going to be popping up, and I think they may start to ease up a little bit as we go into the evening hours, and then we'll have one more little push and little chance for some rain as a front actually moves on through here early tomorrow morning. Humidity is going to continue to go up throughout the day, and that's going to be feeding some of these showers, so it's going to be a muggy kind of an afternoon. But here comes the drier air, and that will work its way on in here, and as the actual front moves on through, which is going to be in the wee hours just about the time we go on the air tomorrow morning, that may actually touch off a couple of more showers and thunderstorms. Then that dry air is going to come in here for the rest of the day tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, as well as Wednesday. A few more clouds on Wednesday, and then more rain chances toward the end of the week. 70 today at noon, a couple of showers around, even a thunderstorm or two, and one or two thunderstorms with a few showers scattered about later on today. 78 for a high temperature, a lot more humidity, and then overnight tonight we get that front to move on through, and so that's going to clear us out. Beautiful, beautiful day tomorrow. We are going to be in the upper 70s still, and then a really pleasant start Wednesday morning. We'll have some rain coming in here late Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, better chances for rain. Still a few scattered showers around here over the weekend. Nothing really too extreme as far as temperatures really throughout the rest of the week.
It's nice to see rain in the forecast.
It is.
We need some.
Yep.
It's also nice to say the following words. Thank you, Mike.
You're very welcome.
Glad to have you back.
5:52.
It is nice.
5:52, 67 degrees.
Coming up next, more on a creative way a dad brought a little bit of Disney World home to his family, staying home during the coronavirus pandemic.
Coming up on GMA, not just the latest pictures from the EF3 tornado in Jonesboro, Arkansas over the weekend, but the severe storms forecast and, of course, the coronavirus change, the big change that happened over the weekend. President Trump now calling for those social distancing measures to stay in place until the end of April. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who says as many as 200,000 Americans may die in the pandemic, will join us live on GMA.
It's National Virtual Vacation Day. There are many ways to make this work. Give yourself a break from home isolation without leaving the house. Do a Google search for somewhere you've always wanted to go. This could be fun. Also for homeschooling for the kiddos, part geography, part history. If you have access to a VR headset, many places have videos to make you feel like you are truly there. Well, before the coronavirus, many families had planned a real vacation, including trips to Disney World, but as WTAE's Brittany Hoke reports, when one family couldn't go to the park, they bought part of the park to them, sort of.
For
For most of us, the world really does seem a lot smaller lately. Stuck inside our homes, unable to even work or go to school, family vacations now on hold.
We've been staying at home, playing a lot of games, dancing, listening to music. I was like, I don't know what else to do. So randomly, I just came up with this idea to bring Disney to her.
So Jesus Torres decided to turn his Irwin home into Disney World for his 18-month-old daughter, Isla. A ride through the house with plenty to take in. Her stuffed animals, stand-ins for Disney characters, a cardboard box serving as her car.
We are so excited to maybe, hopefully in the future, take her to Disney.
Someday, but for now, Isla is clearly enjoying her staycation, smiling and clapping along. And when the ride was over,
you don't want to leave? Let's go. So we had a lot of fun, and she wanted to keep riding the ride, but I told her that there was people that wanted to ride the ride after that.
Jesus says it's tough for parents to keep their kids busy when they're stuck inside the house. His advice is get creative and stay positive.
I think as long as we stay together and we stay at home and we take care of each other, then the sooner and hopefully we can get through this and we can go back to normal life.
Amazing. That was WTAE's Brittany Hoke reporting. Well, coming up on GMSA, for a long time, math was considered a subject for boys. In our next hour of GMSA, we'll see how scientists are using technology to debunk the myth that math is a boys' game. TransGuide, we've had a few incidents earlier. We'll get updated with Officer Marcus Trujillo. Mike Ostrage is back. His full forecast coming up in our next hour.
One teen is dead. Another is in the hospital after someone shot them through a front door. Now police are looking for the person responsible.
The Supreme Court of Texas recently issuing an emergency order stopping most evictions here in the state. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. We're going to explain what that means for you.
President Trump recommending people stay home until April 30th. I'm Inez de la Cuetara in Washington, and I'll have all the details coming up.
A shower or two, maybe a rumble of thunder. Mother Nature definitely keeping us guessing as we head into a work week right here on GMSA.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And an extra good morning to you. It is Monday, March 30th.
Hope you had a terrific weekend, everybody. Found some creative ways to keep yourself socially distant, but still having fun. I did my first ever virtual cocktail party with about 12 or 13 friends from all over the country. It was amazing. I highly suggest you try that.
Well, we will raise a glass this morning and toast the return of our good friend Mike Osterhage, back healthy and happy after 2 weeks in self-quarantine. One of your sons was exposed to someone who tested positive, but everybody at your house is A-okay.
Yeah, this was just precaution, like you said. So
it was the responsible thing to do.
We've all been hunkering down, and everybody, just like they say, take it seriously, keep your 6 foot distance. So, and hats off to everybody who is working from home and, got the kids at home and everything, because it's not your regular, normal routine and everything, and that's tough to do. So just kind of bear with it. So anyway, as far as the weather is concerned, we do have not a bad view out there at the airport. No reduced visibility. The road is still dry over there by the airport. Got a couple of some scattered showers around here and there, and down around Tilden, we do actually have a few thunderstorms. That one little cell that has been building in the past about hour or so. So that's going to continue, and it actually looks like it may be sort of growing a little bit in aerial coverage. That's continuing to work its way off to the east and northeast. So that's going to be cutting right across 37 in the next probably about 15, 20 minutes. And Three Rivers, you may get some of that as well. In and around town, like I said, there hasn't really been anything, although right now, maybe a little bit of a shower that's developing right there by 90. So we'll keep tabs on that, and a few more showers further on out to the west. Temperatures are well above normal by a good 10 to 15 degrees right now in the mid 60s. Oak is still just sky high. Of course, the updated count's going to be coming out in roughly an hour or so. Hopefully Hopefully that goes down for all the oak sufferers out there included. 64 degrees and mid-60s this morning. Then we're going to be up right around 70 today at noon. A couple of showers around the area throughout the rest of the morning, as well as going into this afternoon. Showers, even a few thunderstorms, we're going to be topping off right about 78 degrees. We actually have another weak front moving through overnight tonight, so that's going to set us up for a couple of beautiful days. Rest of the week forecast coming up. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo, and like you're saying earlier, despite the less traffic out there, got some major accidents.
And we had that last week as well, Mike. Just major accidents when at times when we probably shouldn't have had them. Now today, those two looks like they've cleared up, but we have another accident. This was not a major, but it is on the highway nonetheless. We're looking at the westbound lanes of Highway 90 there at Couples. As you can see, we do have a number of flashing lights out there. So folks, if you do have to venture out, remember, put away those distractions, those cell phones, those coffee cups, both hands on the wheel, and then pay attention to the other vehicles around you. Leslie, Mark?
Thank you, Marcus. New this morning, one teenager is dead. Another's in the hospital over on the east side after being shot while in their home. San Antonio police telling us the shooting happened around 1:30 this morning in the 400 block of Aransas Avenue. They say a man knocked on the door, then shot the two teens. Detectives are still investigating. Katrina Weber is on the scene gathering the latest information. We'll have an update from her coming up in our next half hour.
Police also say a woman in her 20s is in the hospital after she was shot by someone with an assault rifle. SAPD says it happened on the west side in the 1300 block of Saltillo Street. That's between South Zarzamora and Benavides Park. Police say the woman was shot in the arm. She is recovering at University Hospital. They say they have the names of 3 possible suspects who drove off from the scene, and they are investigating.
Today is the first day that Mayor Ron Nirenberg and County Judge Nelson Wolf will give daily updates on the coronavirus.
The press conference will take place at 6:30 or 6:15, I should say, this evening. To be really precise, it's 6:13. We'll have a reporter covering the story and bring you the updates in our newscasts and, of course, on KSAT.com.
Meanwhile, Metro Health says they have tested 596 people for the coronavirus. In Bexar County, 157 have been diagnosed with COVID-19. The county did not report any new deaths over the weekend, and only 5 people had died in Bexar County so far. We plan to update the numbers later this afternoon.
Well, although the numbers did not increase much over the weekend here, other places around the country are being hit really hard by the virus. Nearly 2,500 deaths and 142,000 cases across the country. Governor Greg Abbott is implementing stricter travel restrictions. He says that he is expanding his previous executive order that mandated a 14-day quarantine on travelers coming from New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Now, anyone driving in from Louisiana or flying in from Miami, Atlanta, Detroit, or the states of California and Washington will need to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Back here in the city, Mayor Ron Nirenberg says he might need to increase restrictions in public parks. Nirenberg says people across San Antonio are not following proper social distancing guidelines when they go outside. He says it's important to get fresh air, but using playground equipment and being too close to one another is not allowed. If the public does not follow all city ordinances during the pandemic, the mayor says might need to close all the parks in the Alamo City.
1 month after the first death in the United States was announced, the country now has more than 141,000 cases, as we mentioned, and now more than 2,400 have died.
The virus is surging across the country as states and hospitals become overrun with patients and continue to struggle with shortages. ABC's Ines De La Cuetara has the latest.
After suggesting he could ease restrictions by Easter, President Trump announcing he is extending social distancing guidelines until April 30th.
Nothing would be worse than declaring victory before the victory is won.
This as the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, warns the U.S. could get as many as 200,000 deaths and up to 1 million confirmed cases of COVID-19.
What we're trying to do is not let that happen.
New York City is leading the nation in the number of confirmed cases, now preparing to welcome U.S. Navy hospital ship Comfort today to make more room for patients. The Javits Convention Center is also getting set to open after being converted into a temporary field hospital. Convention centers in Washington state and Louisiana also being repurposed. And in California, the number of cases surging past 5,000. This as many hospitals around the country still face mask and ventilator shortages.
I have nurses that call me on a daily basis to tell me that they're scared
to tell me they don't know what to do. We didn't sign up for this.
But President Trump seeming to blame the hospitals.
10 to 20,000 masks to 300,000, even though this is different. Something's going on. Where are the masks going?
Meanwhile, financial relief for Americans is on the way.
Within 3 weeks, we'll have direct deposit into people's accounts.
Those checks could be as much as $1,200 per person plus $500 per child. The president predicts the country will be on its way to recovery by June. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
During this ongoing pandemic, people across the world and around the country even the state of Texas are now dealing with financial struggles. So what happens if you simply cannot pay your bills?
It's a very popular question that our viewers asked on the SAQ section. Max Massey joins us live downtown. So what did you find, Max?
Good morning, guys. Well, during this pandemic, there are special emergency orders in place to help those who are struggling financially. One of those popular questions that you guys alluded to was, do I still have to pay rent? In short, yes, you do have to still pay rent, but it's more complicated an answer than just that. So let's break it down. According to TexasLawHelp.org, simply put, yes, you still have to pay. But here's the thing. The emergency order temporarily stops eviction cases. This does not mean you do not owe rent. It simply means that courts will not hear existing eviction cases until at least April 20th, and they won't hear newly filed cases until at least May 1st. This will help some people because landlords have to get a court order to evict you. That means that you cannot be evicted so long as courts are not hearing these cases. Remember that if you do not pay rent, you may still get evicted when the court eventually hears your case. Also important to mention that you can still get evicted, not for rent, but just in cases of criminal activity on your property. Mark, Leslie.
Thank you, Max. HEB delivering 24 truckloads of food to 13 Texas food banks, including the San Antonio Food Bank, but more donations are still needed. The San Antonio Food Bank is low on supplies. If you'd like to make a donation, contact the food bank through their website to schedule a drop-off. And if you're in need of a donation, you can sign up there as well.
The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is organizing 5 upcoming blood drives in an effort to prevent a shortage during this pandemic. The drives are happening today through April 5th at different locations, including the Pearl, Stevens High School, and Cornerstone Central Campus. Head to KSAT.com for information and to schedule an appointment.
In your other morning headlines, a plane crash in the Philippines that left 8 people on board dead was taking a coronavirus patient to Japan for treatment. Happened during takeoff at Manila International Airport. Here's video from the scene. The jet also reportedly carrying medical supplies. 1 American and a Canadian were on the plane.
The Justice Department is looking into stock deals made by lawmakers right before the coronavirus made the market fall. The probe is reportedly underway and is taking part with cooperation from the Securities and Exchange Commission. One of the sources linked to the matter says the FBI has reached out to Senator Richard Burr about trades after he sold between $628,000 to $1.7 million worth of stock last month. There are currently no other indications that Burr or any other lawmaker did anything illegal. And the pandemic continues to disrupt the 2020 census. The Census Bureau says is extending the suspension of field work until April 15th, 2 weeks longer than originally planned. As a result, there's a freeze on hiring and training of tens of thousands of workers. The delay also affects door-to-door census deliveries to about 10 million homes, mostly in rural areas, or where residents don't get home mail delivery. The process is now set to end August 14th, so census officials can meet the legal deadline of requiring results by the end of the year.
Right now it is 6:11, 67 degrees.
Instacart trying to hire hundreds of thousands of employees to help deliver groceries, but the company is facing another problem, a worker strike.
New York dealing with a large amount of coronavirus cases. We'll hear from a former KSAT employee who gives us a firsthand experience from Brooklyn.
And taking you outside with live cam. We got rain in the forecast. Mike is back and we're so happy to have him here. He has your forecast coming up.
As we have been reporting for a couple weeks now, New York is the epicenter of the pandemic here in the United States.
And a former KSAT team member is right in the middle of it. Tyler Dudley worked with our sports department 4 years ago as part of our big game coverage while she was in college. It helped her decide to go into sports journalism, which led her to a path to Brooklyn.
She talked with Instant Replay last night about what it's like living in the epicenter.
schools are shut down, so you don't hear kids in the afternoon or in the mornings walking to and from school anymore, so that's a little weird. The streets are definitely empty, and I try to get some like fresh air at least to keep myself sane. But when you step outside, the air feels different. It definitely has a completely different vibe. And you go to stores and you can feel that everyone is uneasy and very on edge.
You can read more about her experience in New York right now at KSAT.com. Just go to our instant replay page.
Let's check on the roadways. Can't believe how busy it's been so early this morning.
It has, and that we're looking at that other accident that we were seeing, minor accident, not a major, but it was on Highway 90 over there, Couples. Now that here's a shot of TransGuide, you can see they have cleared up that accident. So traffic is resuming back to normal. I do have to say, though, those eastbound and westbound lanes of Highway 90 just a little bit busier than what I expected. We saw less traffic last week, so maybe some folks making adjustments to their schedule, trying to be out in their buildings, you know, before anybody else does, and just get their stuff and get out and go back home.
That's true, and some office staffs are rotating. Some folks are in a day or a week, and then they rotate out as well.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be different.
It is different. And it's different being at home and staying and working from home. And
yeah, my 21-year-old's getting, a little cabin fever going on there.
Yeah.
A lot of that going around, and people have asked, well, what are places around town looking like these days? And it's not overly dramatic to say they're a ghost town in many, many ways.
Except for grocery stores.
Yeah, except for grocery stores, and they've done a great job doing that. We did take out from a couple of local places this weekend, and they just got it all set up on how you do it and where to park, and you text them your parking space, and they bring your food to you.
But places that are normally packed, like the Riverwalk, are barren.
Yes. Yeah, take a look at this and this KSAT Connect picture, and if it wasn't for everything going on, this is a beautiful, nice, serene, tranquil kind of a picture. But the reason behind it obviously is not great, but still it's a gorgeous shot. So thank you very much for that KSAT Connect picture. And yeah, get outside and walk around a little bit, but obviously keep your distance. But it is nice to get some fresh air and just sort of take your mind off everything after a while. All right, here's a look at by the airport. As you can see, the cloud cover in the distance. Road is still dry out there by the airport. The roads are, but we do have a couple of showers that are working their way into the northwestern portion of Bexar County right now. And then down to the south, we're still watching this one area, which almost looks like now it wants to die down a little bit. That one cell that's got a couple of lightning strikes being detected with it, that is going to be working its way right in toward Three Rivers, crossing 37, of course. Those few showers out to the west, and then a few of them in and around town. It looks like there was a little one over there on the northwest side, over there by 410, I-10, Leon Valley area, and maybe a couple of showers further on the northwestern side of Bexar County. Temperatures yesterday, just to compare, we were at 50 starting off, so actually a little bit on the cool side of things. Now we're obviously 15, 20 degrees above that, and about 10 to 15 above normal in the mid to upper 60s. And the humidity, which is still okay, but if you've been watching throughout the show, we started off in the upper 40s this morning, so the dew point temperatures have slowly been going up throughout the course of the morning. Computer models will have a couple of showers around, scattered about the area. Not everybody's going to be seeing rain today, but there will be a few showers, even a few thunderstorms throughout the rest of the afternoon and even into tonight. Then I think they'll start to taper off a little bit. Then there's this line tomorrow morning, and that's as the front moves on through. One of those kind of late season fronts. We're not going to be seeing many more of these after this, maybe though actually one later on this week, but they become fewer and further between. That will move on through, and that's going to clear us out and give us a gorgeous day tomorrow. And Wednesday is going to be nice as well, but we'll start to see the clouds increase a little bit tomorrow. Humidity is going to continue to go up throughout the day, so it's going to be a muggy day, but at least it's going to be feeding some of those showers. And then here comes that drier air that comes in here, and we get a nice big drop in the dew points, and so therefore it will not be overly uncomfortable the next couple of days. Very pleasant tomorrow and Wednesday. 70 today at noon. Showers, a few scattered about the area, and a few showers, a couple of thunderstorms later on today. 78 for a high temperature. And then tonight, once that front moves on through here, that's probably going to squeeze out a couple of showers as it actually comes through. Then we're going to start to clear on out. Beautiful day tomorrow. beautiful on Wednesday, although clouds will definitely increase throughout the day on Wednesday, and there's going to be a chance for a couple of showers late in the day on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, better chance for some rain. And then Saturday and Sunday, we will have a couple of showers scattered about here. Nothing really too extreme as far as temperatures are concerned.
You just ruined my plans to get my car washed Wednesday.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Still glad to have you back.
Get it washed tomorrow, and at least last a couple of days.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. 621, 67 degrees.
The Netflix docuseries The Tiger King is the streaming service's next surprise hit. It is bizarre. We're going to hear from the director about the show's success in today's GMA First Look after the break.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it right now on KSAT.com for your chance to win a $25 gift card from We Are Circle K.
No matter how you stay fit, keep it light with Light and Fit's 12 grams of protein and 80 calories.
The third stair always creaked, and your mother told me all her life that I should fix it. Now it reminds me of her. I'm just glad I never fixed it.
Listen, you don't need to go anywhere, Dad.
Meet Christine. She's going to help you around the house.
The best home to be in is your own. From personal care and memory care to help around the house, Home Instead offers personalized in-home services for your loved ones. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
I am totally blind, and Non-24 can throw my days and nights out of sync, keeping me from the things I love to do. Talk to your doctor and call 844-214-2424.
In this morning's GMA First Look, going inside the world of the Tiger King.
The young people are nuts, man. And I might be one of them people. I don't know. But they're all half out there, man. They're crazy.
It's the Netflix series everyone is talking about.
There's not every day that a zookeeper went to prison for murder for hire.
Tiger King, the salacious, scandalous, and very bingeable true crime docuseries about the saga of Joe Exotic.
My name's Joe Exotic, and this is Sarge.
Tiger King has a uniquely captive audience. Millions with nowhere to go as they self-isolate to fight the coronavirus.
Never did we imagine that this would sort of have the popularity that it has.
Coming up at 7 a.m., everything you need to know about the phenomenon. But don't worry, no spoilers here. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
The grocery delivery service Instacart is changing safety measures in order to keep employees from striking. Some of those changes include providing hand sanitizer to workers and allowing people to see their own default tipping percentages. However, many workers say that's not enough, and they do plan to strike today. Comes as the company's trying to hire 300,000 more workers to meet increased demand.
Workers at an Amazon warehouse in New York City are also planning to walk out today because of the coronavirus. One of their co-workers tested positive last week, and they say Amazon is not doing enough to protect them. Your time now, 6:26, and it's 67 degrees.
Trina Weber's on the east side of San Antonio gathering information about a deadly overnight shooting. We will have the latest from her on Aransas Avenue.
All right, the stimulus bill has passed. When should you expect your check? We're going to break it down for you after the break.
San Antonio police are trying to find the person who shot two teenagers in their own home. One of them has died. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll have that story.
Bills, rent payments, even internet. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. During this pandemic, what if you can't pay? We're going to explain.
Outside with live cam, we've got a few stray showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two out there. This morning, how's the rest of our work week looking? Mike Osterhage is back, and we'll be getting a first-hand account of what could happen. Good morning to you. It is Monday. It is March 30th.
So glad to have you with us this morning, and so glad to have you with us this morning. Welcome back.
Very much. Yes, except for the alarm going off at 2 o'clock. It is nice to have a
routine again.
Somewhat back to normal. Yeah, so really feel for you folks that are at home right now. So hang in there. If they are leaving, though, Are they going to run into any problems?
No problems right now. Things look pretty good. We did have a couple of problems earlier this morning, but right now things look a lot better than they did earlier this morning and even last week.
Okay. Well, we do have a couple of showers around the area right now, and there may actually be a thunderstorm or two mixed in as well. And there we go. And here's a live look at live cam right now. And as you can see, we do have pretty dry roads out there by the airport, and a couple of showers, a few thunderstorms down there to the south and to the southeast, down just crossing over 37 as of right now. These have been kind of holding together for roughly the past hour or two, so that's the only spot with any lightning as of right now, although this cell on the back side of it, wouldn't be surprised because that's been growing if you see a couple of lightning strikes with that as well. Now, in and around town, we've had a few showers, just a couple of them on the west side. Again, they're very few and far between. That I think is going to be the situation throughout most of the day, but we do have that chance for some rain throughout the day and even a couple of thunderstorms out there. Now, temperatures are about 10 to 15 degrees above normal, obviously a lot milder than what it was yesterday. Oak is still just sky high, well up into the 20,000 plus, 23,480 to be exact. The updated count is going to be coming out in about half an hour or so. So a couple of showers around, mild temperatures this morning, showers, a couple of thunderstorms, upper 70s later on today, and then we do have a front moving through overnight tonight, and so that's going to clear us on out. It's going to be beautiful the next couple of days, although clouds will increase late Wednesday, and then comes our next chance of rain toward the end of the week. Weekend forecast, that's coming up first weekend of April, actually. Time saver traffic right now. So a couple of accidents out there or not?
No, right now things look pretty good, so they've settled down for now. Hopefully they'll stay that way for the rest of the commute. Right now, as we take a look at TransGuide, here is what you can expect. I-10 the Y here in the downtown vicinity. So far, not too bad there. And we're moving over to some other areas like I-10 and Co-11, both the upper and lower levels of inbound and outbound I-10 still running smoothly at this point. No problems there. I-10 at Woodlawn. Just remember, buckle up once you head out today. Mark and Leslie.
Thank you, Marcus. A knock on the door has brought trouble to an East Side family's home. Someone shot two teenagers inside that house.
A 17-year-old boy was killed, his 13-year-old sister wounded. Katrina Weber live at Public Safety Headquarters. Do police know why or how this all happened, Katrina?
Well, police tell us that investigators do have a few motives in mind, but so far they have not made any arrests. They began looking into this case soon after they got the call around 1:30 this morning. Inside that home, the 400 block of Aransas, they found the 17-year-old boy dead. They say his 13-year-old sister suffered 2 gunshot wounds, but was stable when she was rushed to a hospital. Chief McManus told us that the shots were fired from outside by someone who intended to do harm.
The individual walked up and knocked on the door, so it wasn't random. It was definitely a targeted shooting.
The question police still have is who did this. Again, the last word we had is that they had not made any arrests in this case. They do tell us that there were 3 other people in the home, 2 adults and another sibling, but they were not hurt. Reporting live at Public Safety Headquarters, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
President Donald Trump making new accusations about a lack of medical supplies.
He's claiming hospitals, some of them, are hoarding ventilators and asking reporters to investigate.
ABC's Kenneth Moten has details.
With medical equipment becoming scarce at many hospitals, President Trump is now accusing hospitals of hoarding ventilators.
Many of the states are stocked up. Some of them don't admit it, but they have. We have sent just so many things to them, and including ventilators. You know, there's a question as to hoarding of ventilators.
The president made the claim without providing evidence or naming facilities after meeting with several companies to discuss how they're ramping up production of medical supplies. Later, Trump doubled down, questioning the true reason behind the surge in demand for masks, especially in New York.
It's a New York hospital, it's packed all the time. How do you go from 10 to 20 to 300,000? 10 to 20,000 masks to 300,000, even though this is different. Something's going on.
Overnight, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio's office called the claim ludicrous, adding there is no hoarding or conspiracy going on here. Just a simple fact. Our doctors and nurses need masks. That's the sad, unchanging truth unless the federal government steps up and protects our frontline workers. In Louisiana, another hot zone, the governor says the state's healthcare system could become overwhelmed by early April because of a lack of supplies.
About the 4th or 5th of April before, down in the New Orleans area, we're unable to put people on ventilators who need them.
Doctors and nurses across the country say they're now seeing the critical shortages, which they feared for weeks. For some, the risk has grown to be too much, including this former nurse who says she didn't feel properly protected by her hospital, so she quit.
The current hospital that I was working at kept taking PPE away from us and changing the guidelines.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
During the pandemic, we are seeing businesses close and increases in unemployment. That means more and more people having problems paying their bills.
You, our viewers, reached out in the SAQ section of KSAT.com and asked what's being done to help out. Max Massey joins us live downtown with those answers. So what did you find out, Max?
Good morning, guys. We found that the Texas Supreme Court recently issuing an emergency order to stop most evictions. But what about paying your bills? We have electricity, water, and for so many families across Texas, internet. A lot of students right now, the internet is really the only way that they're able to stay connected with their school. So let's start with water. SAWS temporarily stopping their service cutoffs. Disconnections for not paying has been stopped to make sure that everyone has water during this emergency. That way they can wash their hands and keep their homes clean. It is important to note, though, unpaid balances will still add up on your account. Next up, electricity. CPS, with their people first philosophy, saying, quote, "We will suspend energy disconnections while our community bands together to find our path forward." And in regards to your internet, the FCC called on telecommunications companies across the country to take a Keep Americans Connected pledge, asking companies to pledge several things for at least the next 60 days, making sure that people and businesses stay connected. They are not going to terminate services. They will waive any late fees, open up Wi-Fi hotspots to any Americans who need them. And less than 24 hours after that announcement, dozens of companies like AT&T and Spectrum made the pledge. If you guys have any questions, just head to the SAQ section on KSAT.com right now, and we will look into that for you. Reporting downtown, Max Massey, KSAT 12 News. Guys.
Thank you so much, Max. In your morning headlines, the FBI and other government entities are warning people not to fall for stimulus check scams. Government officials say scammers are already trying to steal people's money by asking for personal or financial information through calls, texts, emails, even websites that look legit. Some Americans are eligible for up to $1,200 per person and should expect to see that money within 3 weeks, according to U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. Those who filed their taxes electronically in the past may see a direct deposit in their bank sooner than later.
Well, Delta Airlines is stepping up to provide free flights for medical professionals flying to areas facing a surge in coronavirus cases. The company announced it to set up a program to give round-trip tickets to medical volunteers who are traveling to work at hospitals in Georgia, Louisiana, and Michigan. Delta is working with state and local government officials to make the flight reservations. All medical volunteers should contact the impacting states to determine their eligibility. Delta says it could also expand the program to other areas, including California, New York, and Washington.
The Girl Scouts are adapting to the world of social distancing in the era of COVID-19. If you're craving those Thin Mints and Samoas while at home, don't worry. You can now order them online. The sweets will be delivered to your door, and the proceeds will help your local Girl Scout troop. They are also offering self-guided activities families can access online.
Goodness, we can still get our Girl Scout cookies.
I know. There's another crisis averted, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm being tongue-in-cheek, of course. 6:39, 67 degrees.
For a long time, math was considered a subject for boys. Well, after the break, we're going to see how scientists are using technology to debunk the myth that math is a boys' game.
When it comes to jobs like STEM jobs, engineering, medicine, and computers, there's a long history of gender performance bias.
Many people believe that boys' math capabilities are better than girls because boys' brains are wired for it.
David Sears reports scientists are using technology to debunk that math myth.
So let's try counting them now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Counting
6,
and
7,
calculating.
8, 9.
Matching shapes and sizes.
Don't forget about the problem.
When it comes to math learning, is one gender predisposed to be better than the other? Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University's Kid Neuro Lab studied 55 girls and 49 boys ages 3 to 9 to determine how their brains processed math. The kids had a functional MRI while they watched educational math videos. The scientists measured which areas of their brains responded more strongly to the math content.
So can you count these dots with your finger?
The researchers then compared the brain networks associated with math for girls to the networks for boys and found them to be identical.
So the brain is implementing this aspect of cognition in the same way for little boys and little girls.
Researchers also assessed kids' math abilities using a series of tasks in the lab and found no gender differences in performance either. The findings may help reshape the societal belief that girls aren't built for math.
I think some of the bias against engaging girls in mathematics is sort of under the radar for us.
Experts say parents should be aware of the bias that steers young women away from STEM and be careful to avoid it. David Sears, KSAT 12 News.
6:44.
It is time to check on the roadways once again. Marcus, what's happening out there?
Well, right now things look pretty good. As you see the map, no incidents out there on the highways, and traffic is moving along. And believe it or not, we do have a fair amount of people out there on the roadways. Let's take a look. That's 37 in Jones. No problems there. 281 at Grayson. Still that nice silvery Christmas looking picture. We move over to 281 and 410 by the airport. A little bit busier, not only on 410 down below, but also on those connect ramps. You can see all those folks exiting 281 from eastbound 410. And then 10 at Crossroads also starting to show signs of being just a little bit busier. Don't forget, folks, take your patience with you as you head out, especially if you're going to any of those parking lots to restock on supplies.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Marcus. Yes, sir.
Quick shout out.
Okay.
Happy birthday to a dear friend and coworker of ours, Katie Blake.
Oh,
it's
super
her
meteorologist Katie Blake.
Yes, just one of the nicest people.
She really
Great coworker, but just a lovely
Very
gal.
genuine.
It's true.
She is. So happy birthday, Katie.
Happy birthday, Katie. We love
All
you.
right, if your lawn looks like this, or maybe your sidewalk, I say that my lawn looks like 70s shag carpeting with all this oak stuff just hanging around here, but that is just ugh, and it's all over the cars and everything like that, and the winds over the weekend and the rain and just the yuck and everything. So hopefully that season comes to an end sooner than later, but the numbers are still sky high. Yesterday's reading was close to 24,000. The updated count's going to be coming out in about, 25 minutes, half hour or so. Road still looks fairly dry over there by the airport. We do have a few showers scattered about the area, even a couple of thunderstorms down here to the south. These two different cells, this one and then a third one now has kind of started to develop a few, they're starting to build enough to produce a couple of thunderstorms or at least a few lightning strikes, I should say. And these are all moving off to the northeast and obviously crossing 37 to 81, and that will continue. And it's been holding together a little bit as well. But again, this is sort of the exception rather than the rule. And a few more scattered showers off there to the west. We've had a few of them, and if you blink, you kind of miss it. But a few of these light little sprinkly showers have sort of moved through San Antonio. So there may be a few damp spots on the roads if indeed you are heading out this morning. Temperatures are roughly 10 to 15 degrees above normal, mid to upper 60s. We should be in the mid 50s right now. A couple of showers scattered about throughout the day, even a few thunderstorms throughout the afternoon hours. I think things will start to taper off a little bit tonight, and then as the front moves on through here early tomorrow morning, that's going to touch off a few more showers and storms. It's going to be right about the time we go on the air tomorrow morning. Then we're going to be clearing out. Tomorrow looks like a fantastic day. We'll have a drop in the humidity, and Wednesday is going to be nice as well, but the clouds will increase late on Wednesday. So we've got dew points which will continue to go up. Right now it's not bad out there, but the humidity's been slowly creeping up this morning, and computer models have us really getting fairly humid by later on this afternoon, and that's going to be the situation tonight. Then here comes the drier air that moves in here for tomorrow, and that sets us up for some beautiful, beautiful weather, like I said, tomorrow as well as Wednesday. Then the humidity starts to come back up toward the end of the week. Rain chances come back up toward the end of the week as well as the weekend, but it looks like we'll see another slight drop in the humidity once we get into the latter portion of the weekend. So at least we've got some of these fronts moving on through here, because that's not going to be too much longer till we just have the hot weather settling on in here. But again, at least a front or two. 70 today at noon, a couple of showers around the area. And then later on this afternoon, getting ahead of myself here, 78 degrees. Showers, even a couple of thunderstorms are possible. The front moves through late tonight, early tomorrow morning. That's going to clear us out. Beautiful day tomorrow, 79. We start off in the mid 50s on Wednesday, get up to 79 again. A few more clouds on Wednesday and some rain showers late on Wednesday. We go into Thursday and Friday, a better chance for some rain, and then we'll still have a couple of showers left over around here over the weekend.
Lots of good rain chances in that forecast.
Yes, scattered today. I think better chances toward Thursday, Friday.
Thank you, sir. Right now we're at 648, 67 degrees. Young children learn from parents every day. Even mom and dad do not realize it.
Join us tomorrow on GMSA. We take a look at how nonverbal signs can teach a child about bias.
Outside with Live Cam, news you need to know before you go is coming up right here on GMSA.
Coming up on GMA, not just the latest pictures from the EF3 tornado in Jonesboro, Arkansas over the weekend, but the severe storms forecast and, of course, the coronavirus change, the big change that happened over the weekend. President Trump now calling for those social distancing measures to stay in place until the end of April. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who says as many as 200,000 Americans may die in the pandemic, will join us live on GMA.
San Antonio police are out to find the person who shot 2 teenagers in their own home. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber, one of the teens. A 17-year-old boy has died from his wounds. The police got the call to their home in the 400 block of Aransas around 1:30 this morning. They say someone knocked on the door of that home and started shooting. The 17-year-old died at the scene. His 13-year-old sister was hit twice and is in stable condition at a hospital. 3 other people were home at the time, but they were not hurt. Police are still investigating this case, but they say they do have a few motives in mind, although they have not made any arrests yet. Reporting from Public Safety Headquarters, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
During this pandemic, people across the world, across the country, and across Texas are now struggling financially. So what happens if you can't pay your bills? Good morning, I'm Max Massey. Well, the Texas Supreme Court coming out issuing an emergency order stopping most evictions. So what does that mean for you, and how exactly does it work? Well, let's break it down. It means that courts will not hear existing eviction cases until April 20th and will not hear newly filed cases until at least May 1st. This will help some people because landlords, they have to get court orders to evict a tenant. That means you can't be evicted so long as courts are not hearing the cases. Remember that if you do not pay rent, you may still get evicted when the court eventually hears your case. In regards to those bills for water and electric, SAWS and CPS have come out and temporarily stopped shutoffs, and for internet, several providers have signed a pledge with the FCC to keep America connected during this crisis. Now, if you have any questions that you want us to look into, all you have to do is go to the SAQ section on KSAT.com. Reporting downtown, Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
We are approaching 5 minutes till 7 on your Monday morning.
It is time once again to check on the roadways.
And still looking great right now as we take a look at the highway. Still no signs of any accidents out there. So what do we have on TransGuide? Well, up there by the airport, 281 and 410. Traffic moving along fairly well with no problems there at 281 at Grayson. And moving on to 10 at Crossroads. No problems there. And Mike, the roads stayed dry for the whole commute.
Yeah, we've had a couple of light little sprinkles that have moved through town. And as you can see on radar right now, there are just a few showers scattered about here and there. Now, even a couple of lightning strikes are being detected down to the south, and those are all moving off to the northeast, kind of cutting across 37 right now. And then again, here in town, there may be a couple of damp spots. As you can see, just a few light little sprinkles that are sliding up to the north over there, right around 10 over towards Seguin. So a couple of showers around. Temperatures are on the mild side this morning, and a few thunderstorms going to be thrown in today as well. We'll make it up to 70 at noon and then 78 for a high temperature today. Rain will sort of taper off a little bit later on tonight, and I think maybe one last little bit early tomorrow morning as a front moves on through here, which we usually don't see this late in the season, but we'll take it. And beautiful day tomorrow. We get rid of some of the humidity because the humidity is going to return this afternoon. Wednesday looks good. Some rain late. Better chance for rain Thursday, Friday, and even a couple of showers are going to be left over by this weekend.
So you've discovered a lot of games, you said. Like
yes.
You were into your little voluntary quarantine.
And we should also tell everybody that 3/4 of us have started or finished Tiger King.
Watch
it is unbelievably wacky.
The fact that it's a true story, you can't wrap your head around it.
Right. We're going to duct tape Marcus to a chair and have him start it this evening.
You have to, Marcus. You have to.
Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Have a good one.